Away. Thanks so much, Amber. Well, on opening weekend, Inside Out 2 raked in $155 million in the U.S. alone. Many parents and teens found the movie's message very relatable. Dr. Holly McKenna with Dara Wellness joins us now to explain what that's telling us about anxiety. Good morning.
Good morning.
So why did so many people find this so relatable?
You know, I went to the movie with, I was just saying, with my 7-year-old and almost 12-year-old. The 12-year-old wasn't really sure about it until she got there, and she really did feel seen. So if you saw Inside Out 1, you saw at the end was the alarm bells and everything going off when puberty hit. And that's what it feels like. You know, for parents of teens, for those of us who just remember, it's a not so great time. It's pretty chaotic. But what's happening in the brain was really illustrated well by the movie, in that there really is a restructuring of the brain. Like in the movie, they literally had construction coming in and knocking down walls.
Oh my goodness. That's what it feels like, I'm sure.
That's totally what it feels like. It's what it feels like for the teen, but also it's what it feels like for the parents and those of us around them, because they really are becoming a new person and their sense of self is developing. And that's true biologically. Our brains are developing until our mid-20s, and our sense of self is becoming more apparent. Our executive functioning is improving and developing, and that just happens with time and with age.
Exactly. Well, people who have experienced anxiety might particularly relate to this character that we have on the screen right now. Tell me about him. Tell me how anxiety plays a part in our mental well-being.
So it's interesting. We think of anxiety and some of our emotions as things that maybe we don't want to have a part of our everyday life, but every emotion actually serves a purpose. And anxiety, just as in the film, anxiety said, I am here to protect Riley. I'm here to help her feel safe from things that maybe she doesn't see, but she might anticipate happening in the future. So anxiety is what's going to help you do your homework. You know, if you're a teen, it's going to help you prepare for a presentation at work or for a sport or what have you. It's going to be the driving force to help you do better. And so it's really a balance. You need anxiety to actually get to a state of joy. So joy, I've talked to you about the flow state. The flow state is a great way to get into a joy and happiness state. That's a state where maybe things are all going well, you're conquering every skill that's in front of you, you lose track of time, you're like right there in the zone. I always, you know, I have an attachment to the Pelicans, so I always talk about like when Zion is having a great game or BI is having a great game, they're in that flow state. Well, for them to get into that flow state, their anxiety has to kick in and get them to practice, you know, their free throws, practice their three-point shots. Anxiety helps us practice and build skills, so then we can get to a state where the skills are just happening in real time and we can have that happiness, and they really do work together.
Absolutely. So anxiety is not necessarily a bad thing. It is something that we need that helps us do some things, but sometimes that anxiety gets a little out of control.
Absolutely.
Some folks even struggle with panic attacks and things like that. What can you do if you feel like your anxiety is getting out of control? For me, I find sometimes it's when the house is like really messy. I get really like, oh, I just can't take any more noises or any more stuff on the ground.
Yep.
When you start to get that way, what can you do?
Yeah, so they actually illustrated this great in the movie. You can tell that they had some experts helping them, and that's why like those of us in mental health are like all in. But Riley had a panic attack. That's the girl that has all the emotions.
Sure.
And it was during a hockey game. She's holding her hockey stick. I don't think I'm doing too much of a spoiler. And she literally started feeling the stick, and that is what brought her out of the panic attack. And that's a skill that we use. We call it grounding. An easy way to remember grounding is think of your senses. So like your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and skin. So think of eyes, like what do you see around you? You're looking at the outside, because the panic and the anxiety is all on the inside. And literally what happens is your brain kind of goes offline and you're just really overwhelmed by the physical sensation of anxiety. So looking at what do you see around the room? Like you see the TV.
What do you smell? What do you hear? Just start naming things.
All
it's going to help settle you
all
a
the
bit.
things. It helps bring you back into the here and now and not into that state of panic that was kind of taking you away from all that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the recommendation. Now
Absolutely.
I really want to go see it. I loved the first one, so I'm sure the second one's great as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Holly McKenna. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well.